Hello YouTube, Wes here checking in with a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. The Vinyl Survivor series is where I pull 10 records from my inbox, give them a critical listen, and let you know what I thought of each one, whether they're going to be going in my permanent collection behind me, or whether they just weren't for me and I'll have to find a new home for them. So let's go ahead and get into this episode number 182. First album I have here is a Vinyl Me Please reissue of the 1962 album, or 1967 album, I'm sorry, by Nina Simone. This is Nina Simone Sings the Blues. So Nina Simone Sings the Blues was her first album on RCA Records. Previously, Nina Simone's recordings were more of an orchestral kind of Shirley Bassey kind of sound, very big, very orchestral. But when she went to RCA Records, definitely made a change in her style or change in the feel. This is definitely a much more intimate recording here, very stripped down, only a few members in the band now. Yeah, really excellent album. This was definitely a highly regarded album of hers. Cover with some liner notes, and I'm guessing this wasn't originally a gatefold, but Vinyl Me Please made it a gatefold with some nice photographs inside. This one did come with a nice large booklet explaining an essay and photographs in here talking about this recording and Nina Simone in general and her place in music and all that. There's also some lyrics in there as well. Really nice booklet they made. And this one came with a nice art print by Milana Bass. And then the vinyl itself pressed on a really nice baby blue vinyl, mastered by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. Sounds excellent. Very nicely mastered. Sounds definitely gives you that intimate sound that I was talking about. She sounds like she's right there in the room with you. Really nicely done. Pressed at GZ vinyl, but nicely pressed and nicely mastered. So yeah, that's Nina Simone Sings the Blues, the Vinyl Me Please reissue of that. Very good. Definitely going to be a keeper and staying in my permanent collection. All right, next up I have a bluegrass album for you. This is a modern bluegrass album. This is the album by Steve Martin and Edie Brickell titled Love Will Find You, or Love Has Come For You. Yeah, really nice. Steve Martin plays on here with his Steep Canyon Rangers, with his normal bluegrass band, and Edie Brickell does vocals. Really nice bluegrass album. Definitely enjoyed listening to this. There's a gatefold with lyrics inside and another nice photograph. That's pretty nice. This cover, it looks like an old-timey photograph, but this is actually a painting by Martin Mull, painting that Steve Martin actually owns. I don't know if that gives him the right to use it or how that works out, but this was the album cover, and then Steve Martin and Edie Brickell recreated that artwork in photographic form. Really funny cover and front and back cover on this, so I definitely appreciated that. And this also came with a printed insert with some liner notes on it. And then this is on black vinyl, pressed at RTI. Sounds incredible. Very nice pressing of this. Not sure who did the mastering, but it's very well done. So Steve Martin, Edie Brickell, bluegrass album, really good, really enjoyable, and it's going to be staying in my permanent collection. All right, next thing I have to talk about from 2012. This is the 9th studio album by Cat Power titled Sun. And this was my introduction to Cat Power, was on this album. I know a lot of people picked it up when it came out. They were previous fans of it, and this was definitely a change of pace for her, so it was very shocking for them. I know a lot of people didn't like this album when it came out, but I really liked this album. I checked it out, bought it on CD when it came out originally, ended up getting this vinyl release later on. Cat Power started off more of like a folksy kind of sound, a little bit more acoustic kind of sounding, but with this album, she just had a change of pace, a change of direction. A lot of things were going on in her life, and this is a lot more of an electronic pop album, but very experimental, very good. I really like this a lot. Really connected with it. Definitely enjoyed it. This one does have some inserts with some more gold embossing, which is really nice. Some more imagery that matches the cover art. Another one here, really nice. And then some lyrics, minor notes on there. On black vinyl, 2 LP set. Cat Power's Sun, a very electronic pop kind of album, but it definitely gives you those feelings of that kind of folksy, more acoustic kind of artist she was in the past. So it's a good album. I definitely, as I said, I really like this album a lot, and may have been a shock to people who knew her previously, but for me, getting into, discovering her as an artist, this album really connected with me, and I really enjoyed it, and it's going to be staying in my permanent collection. All right, next up, something quite a bit different here. We have a piece of Cuban music, which is quite rare to find, although not as rare here in Florida for me. But this is by the group Cristal, and this is their A Miami en Coche El Son de la Madruga, is the title of this album. And yeah, they're a Cuban band. Definitely do a lot of different styles on here. You got some salsa, more salsa, fast-paced kind of styles, along with some boleros, which is more of a slowed down kind of, very kind of romantic kind of style as far as Cuban music goes. I definitely prefer the faster-paced stuff, more rhythmic kind of stuff. But this was a really good album. I really enjoyed listening to this. You gotta love that album cover. That's just too funny. Of course, on black vinyl, not too much to see there. Custom labels. So Cristal, A Miami en Coche is going to be staying in my permanent collection. Don't have much in the way of Cuban music in the collection, and so I'd like to have this, and it was enjoyable to listen to. So if you see that one somehow, pick it up. It's good. All right, this next one doesn't need too much introduction. It is certainly made its way into our society in the past decade, and that is the Hamilton, the musical Broadway cast recording. So yeah, I never intended to have this on vinyl. It was a Christmas gift. I had this on CD pretty early on. I got this as a Christmas gift from my husband. It was definitely an excellent Christmas gift. I'm very glad to have this on vinyl. Very, very nice packaging here. Very nice box set, 4 LPs with the nice booklet inside. I'll go ahead and show this off a bit. Nice 12 by 12 lyric booklet inside, so you can follow along. But at this point, I can pretty much know the lyrics pretty well to all these songs. Excellent music. This is on black vinyl. Nice. And very nicely packaged. All the records are in their own individual sleeves with the Act 1, Act 2 kind of thing. Very nice. It does also have a digital download code, but as I said, I already had the CD, so I didn't need that. So yeah, that's Hamilton the musical. As I said, definitely has been a big deal in pop culture recently, in the past decade, and definitely a classic American musical. And I'm glad to have this on vinyl, and absolutely is staying in the collection. I love this. I love this music. And of course, you can now watch it on Disney Plus. In case you haven't seen it yet, it's worth watching. Okay, the next thing I have to talk about is the third album by Curtis Mayfield. This is the soundtrack to Superfly. Classic soundtrack. Awesome songs on here. Your Little Child Running Wild, Pusher Man, Freddy's Dead, Superfly, the title track. Killer soundtrack. Yeah, awesome stuff. Definitely a must-have if you're into soul at all. And this is a modern reissue. They recreated the Curtom labels there. Curtis Mayfield, Superfly, stone cold classic, and that one is staying in my collection. Loved it. Okay, next thing we have from 1989. This is the third album by the duo Tears for Fears. This is Sowing the Seeds of Love. Of course, features the hit song Sowing the Seeds of Love. It's a big hit for them. Very classic 80s band. They're moving more into a little bit more of that late 80s jazzier sound that pop music kind of went into at this point. This was the follow-up to Songs from the Big Chair, but it was 4 years later, so definitely things had changed and the style changed a bit on this. But still an excellent, excellent pop album by Tears for Fears. I mean, they did amazing stuff. So this is a really nice copy of that album. Here is the inner sleeve with some lyrics on it. And this is on the cool Fontana label. Don't see that label too much around here. So yeah, Tears for Fears, Sowing the Seeds of Love. I definitely prefer their earlier stuff. I mean, Songs from the Big Chair and The Hurting. Yeah, I mean, killer stuff. That's definitely more of my thing. But I still enjoy this quite a bit. So this is going to be staying in my collection and going, sitting along with those other two albums. And yeah, excellent 80s work from the duo. All right, next thing I have to share with you was some VCLT from the Netherlands from Stefan73, and this is a Dutch artist, as Boudewijn de Groot, with his album Picnic from 1967, I believe is the year on this one. Yeah, 1967. This was his third album. This is pop psych, and it's all in Dutch. Really good pop psych album. Definitely killer album cover too. That album cover is just awesome. There's a photo on the back. Yeah, it's 60s, late 60s pop psych, and but it's good, really enjoyable. It's on the Decca label, very nice. Yeah, very good pop psych album. A little bit on the folky side at times, but yeah, just awesome 60s pop psych that's not common here in the US. So thank you for that, Stefan. I really enjoyed listening to this, and this is going to be staying in my permanent collection. All right, next up, we showed his third studio album earlier in the show, and now we have his second studio album from 1971. This is Curtis Mayfield's Roots, another classic from him. Keep on keeping on, Get Down, We Gotta Have Peace, Beautiful Brother of Mine. Just, yeah, another amazing album. And Curtis Mayfield is just an amazing soul artist. There's the gatefold on that one. Really nice photograph on the back. This is another modern reissue of the album I picked up from my local record store. And this was a red vinyl pressing, which was cool. They had a black vinyl version, and then pay a few dollars more and get the red one. I went ahead and paid a little extra to get the red one. But yeah, classic album by Curtis Mayfield. And it's not always easy to find clean copies of this old stuff like this. So it was easy to pick this up at the record store and enjoyed listening to it. And this is going to be going in my permanent collection. So Curtis Mayfield, Roots, his second album, 1971. Awesome stuff. Definitely recommend it and check that one out. Okay, and last but not least, we started off this episode with a Vinyl Me Please release, so let's go ahead and end off with a Vinyl Me Please release, and this is an album from 2004 from the group The Books, and this is their album titled The Lemon of Pink, as I said, from 2004. So how to explain the Books? They're kind of a little bit musique concrète, a little bit of a folktronica kind of thing. So what it is very lush, very nice sounding acoustic instruments, a lot of strings and harps and kind of things like that. But over top of it, there are these sort of sound clips and noises looped on top of it. So that's sort of the musique concrète kind of thing that comes into it. It might just be sort of a bird chirping kind of loop, or just a ticking or clicking kind of noise, or it could be actually somebody saying words that may or may not be recognizable. It's difficult to explain. It's definitely something for an adventurous ear. Yeah, really enjoyed listening to this, though. Definitely something I enjoyed. And this came with a nice printed booklet with extensive liner notes inside and some more artwork and whatnot. Very nice. So that was nice that they included that. And then the art print is by Fat Blood, or William Zoe. or William Zoe Fitzgerald. And there's also a nice inner sleeve. And then the vinyl itself being the Lemon of Pink. Couldn't have an album that wasn't lemon and pink colored. Very, very pretty splatter. Yeah, that's just gorgeous splatter. Yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode of the Vinyl Survivor Show. Thank you very much if you made it all the way to the end. If you are not already subscribed, please think about subscribing so you can always catch the future episodes of the Vinyl Survivor Show as well as the other things I do here on the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, great night. Remember, there is no bad music, only music you don't like, and we'll see you again next time. Cheers.